welcome back to Reachin Reverie. My name is Alex. I didn't realize how windy it was going to be today, so this video may be mostly voiceover. I decided to bring Miss Evie along today so that she could get her evening walk. Are you ready to go? Let's go. So when we work out here on the property in the mornings, it's so still. It's never windy. When you want it to have the breeze during the heat of the day, it's sunny. We're hoping for wind. And it's kind of funny. I come out in the evenings to record a video when it's cooler, and then the wind picks up so much that you can't even hear the video. One of the things that Josh did during his day off this week is he actually hauled 6 loads in a dump bed trailer full of this commercial base. And he came out and smoothed it over this dirt road that he cut to help compact it down. It made it more stable to drive on and safer as well. Starting at this point, he went all the way back to as far as we've dug the road so far with this commercial base. Let's go, Evie. This pile over here is actually excess that he had left over, which was kind of nice. So we can use this pile to help lay some foundation down where the RV is going to be sitting. And it's also going to help give us a head start as we continue on down the road, as we're only about halfway through the property cutting a road. And of course, Evie, you laid down right in the deer poop. Thanks. That's really gross. Evie and I are sitting here on this rock pile hoping that we can cut some of the wind out here, but it feels like it's blowing just as strong. Crazy to me how the wind is non-existent in the heat of the day when we're begging for it, and then as soon as it cools off in the afternoons, it just picks back up, and it is really windy right now. So you can see almost an area right here where it looks like there's no vegetation. It looks almost like there's a road right here. And it goes all the way down for over half a mile in that direction and then continues on this way. This area where we bought our 5-acre property and the area surrounding where all of our neighbors with their little ranchettes live, it used to belong to one family. And there is a woman who lives down the road from us who, she said that her family has owned this area since 1903. Since then, they did subdivide and sell off parcels of land to people like me and Josh, and she still lives in the area. She has a lot down the way. She also owns this empty 4-acre lot next to us. And she was telling us a little bit of the history of this land. One interesting piece is that this vacant area, this bare patch where it's just grassland going down, it almost looks like an easement. Josh and I really thought that this would be where the water would be buried, because she did say that there's water lines buried leading to all of the properties in the area. This cutout's actually a section where the land was cleared back in the 1980s. That way they could create a one-way road coming one direction, the dirt road going the other way, and that middle section actually was planned out to be a median. Here's a better look at that area that's cleared, and then a nice little view of the property. Well, let's continue on our way, taking a closer look at some of the things we worked on this week. Let's go, Evie. As we walk down the road, there's several patches where I had actually cleaned up all the mesquite along the road and chipped it down into mulch. These short walks are physical therapy for Evie, who she broke her wrist about a year and a half ago. These short walks are really good help to strengthen those bones and ligaments and muscles in her leg. Here I am gonna wave hi to Josh as he's working. Is it a rabbit? Nope. She thought she heard something. This wood chipper has turned into everything that we could have hoped or dreamed for. I have had such a good time turning the trees into mulch on the property that we've had to clear to create our road. We're creating a little sizable pile right here. I was hauling the tree limbs with a pitchfork and a wheelbarrow to get them over to this chipper and getting it all into a more manageable format for us to be able to recycle on the property. This wood chipper only handles up to 3-inch branches. So we do have some big roots with wider bases that we put into another pile that we could use as like smoking for meat. And then we also have some little branches that didn't quite fit into or wasn't going to be worth it to put into the wood chipper. This area out here where Josh is working is going to be our RV structure. We're getting the material in tomorrow, and next weekend we are hoping to weld together the RV shade structure. Once the RV shade structure is there, we're going to go ahead and have an area where his RV can drive in. The shop is going to be off to the one side, and a little fenced-in area for Evie as a dog yard. In the future, the house is going to go past that pole. We're also going to have a pasture at the back of the property, and my garden's going to be off in the distance behind the shop. This is a little bit of a closer look, the RV area he's working in. This weekend, Josh took his tractor and he cleared out all of the brush and leveled this area. He also used his rock bar and he physically dug holes. There's 10 of them. They're about 12 inches wide and 3 feet deep. This is where the supports from the structure are going to go. Let's take a closer look at what Josh has been working on. Here we have one that's already cemented in. He put concrete there, let it dry, and he's going to use this fancy device. I'm going to have to ask him again, what is this thing? He has this little tripod-y thing out in the middle, and he's using this stick thingy over there. And he's essentially measuring off of this first spot, and he's going to go to each of the holes and verify that they're at the same level height. That way the structure is going to be level. So you could see he's lifting up that sticky thing, and he's a little more technical than I am, but he's trying to make sure that each of these pillars are going to be at the same height. All of the columns are going to be able to do one size and be level across this spot. We did square this off yesterday with stakes and streamline. He uses this interesting method of putting the stakes out past in right angles, and he runs the string across as an X, and that is very precise on where he's going to be digging his holes. I'm currently voice-overing this from the comfort of my rental house, and there are some bucks in the front yard screaming if you guys hear some funny noises in the background. Let's go take a look at one of the holes that doesn't have concrete in it yet, just to get an idea of how deep that goes down. Can you believe Josh did this with a rock bar? Oh my goodness. And for those of you that don't know what I mean when I say he used a rock bar, let's go take a closer look. Ooh, another hole. I'm a little squirrely, guys. I get distracted super easy, but here's the rock bar I was talking about. You can see the tip that he jammed down to dig the hole with. And those things are heavy. They get heavier with each crank at it that you do. He does actually have an actual auger that fits onto a tractor. It's this spirally thing here. But he wasn't able to use it, this brand new auger drill thing. It should have done its job, but it had a hydraulic hose leak. And with all of the hardware stores being closed for the weekend, we had to improvise. We really wanted this project to get done this weekend so that we could move on to welding next weekend when his friend was in town. So that's where he had to get creative, do some manual labor with the rock bar, and got us where we are today. What he's doing over here is he's using a level, some 2x4s, and piling up some soil around the area to create a mold so that he can put the concrete up to the height where it will be level. Little closer look at what he calls the transit. And the stick thingy. My technical terms. Josh is definitely the architect and engineer here. I'm actually wearing my hiking boots for my backpacking trip I went on a couple years ago because they have super thick soles and they are so much more protection against those mesquites that I'm constantly stepping on walking around the property. We do have a little rabbit burrow right here, and it's freshly used. I also have these flags that Josh and I have been putting around the property. We've been flagging plants that we want to keep on the property. That way we don't accidentally take them out with the tractor. We absolutely love rainbow cactus, and they're scattered throughout the property, so we've been making sure to flag them because they're so small and easy to overlook. I have already transplanted and saved a couple of plants on the property. I'm going to come back and grab Evie because I don't want her to accidentally step in one of those holes that Josh dug. Let's get all situated and we'll take a closer look. Alrighty. This right here is the little agarita that we transplanted. It was in the wrong spot, so now he's going to be in the shade of this mesquite. And you can see a couple other rainbow cactuses already there. We've been putting them under these big mesquites, one, to offer them some protection until they get established, but also we know we're not going to cut the big mesquites down. So if I randomly plant these all over the property, I may actually dig them up again. So putting them under this tree ensures that we won't pull them up again.
That was gross. I'm not showing my face a lot in this one because I am voice overing the majority of this video, and it's easier to voice over when you're not having to match and sync lip. Evie's trying to convince me to leave because it's way too windy for her. She doesn't like the wind blowing through her hair. Watch out for that cactus. I wanted to show you guys an update on our little birdie. I thought this was a cactus wren, but I have since ID'd the mom or dad, and it's actually a curve-billed thrasher. And that baby bird hatched just a couple days ago.
We need to move our chairs to the other side of this tree, but this is our morning spot where it gets shade from the tree, where you could see the sunrises over there. So we'll sit out here in the morning and have breakfast and look at our project that we have ahead of us for the day. In the evenings, we move around to the other side. Need to drag those chairs around. That way we can have shade in the evening. This is our afternoon shade spot, which I've actually already raked out all nicely and took all those little mesquite thorns out of the area so we can sit down and relax without fear of getting poked by more mesquite. This is a really great spot to come and sit and have shelter from the wind and the sun and really get to, let's go down to sitting level, really get to appreciate the property. When you're really quiet in the afternoons, sometimes you'll see rabbits and deer and other critters running across the property. We thought that we would have electricity by now, but we did ask for an update from the electric company. So the reason that we haven't completed the project yet with the electric is because they told us that they are going to replace this pole. We're waiting for them to come out to replace the power pole before they can move forward with getting us that electric. They're going to get it over to the electric panel. And I'm actually really glad that they're going to replace this pole because up about 3/4 of the way up, there's an 8-foot slice or crack running down that pole, which could degrade more over time.
You're so good. Did you give up on me? You came and found a spot that was nice and soft. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Evie the sighthound doesn't see the bunnies. There's 2 of them right there. Yards away, Evie. You want to face this to the sensor. So this tool is really cool and it'll either beep fast or slow if you're above or below level with where you want to be. And so if it beeps solid, that means that you're right where you want it. So measuring where it's level, now he knows how high he needs to come up with a form so that he can make sure that the concrete comes up higher than the level of the ground so that this side is leveled with that corner over there. Because the property, even though it looks level, does have a slight slope towards me. We have a lot of exciting progress coming up, so stay tuned for next week's video. She tries to give me wet willies when she wants me to leave. So that's it for this week's video. I promise you guys, I tried so hard to keep it less than 40 minutes. I don't really mean to go that long with my videos. I think I'm filming enough for like a 15 to 20 minute video, and then I sit down to edit it. And then the next thing I know, I'm like, wow, this video went on for way too long. We have a lot of exciting projects coming up, so make sure that you guys stay tuned for our next one. Can't wait to show you what happens next week. It's kind of funny, we always have plans of what our next project is going to be, and a lot of things are up in the air depending, you know, like we're waiting on the electric company. We have things in progress for our septic. We do know that we're getting our material for the RV shade structure this coming week, so that's what we're going to move forward with next, and we can't wait to show you each step of the way as we build our homestead 1 week at a time. I'm gonna go sit you on a bed so I can help Josh.